Hi, and welcome to this introduction to WordPress. In this lesson, we'll delve into the basics, helping you gain a fundamental understanding of what you can achieve with WordPress, even if you're a complete beginner. The learning outcomes for this session are to define WordPress, discuss what can be achieved using WordPress, explore examples of WordPress sites, clarify what open source means, and briefly discuss the importance of themes and plugins. At its core, WordPress empowers you to create your own website or blog. Millions and millions of websites have been built using WordPress, ranging from online stores and small businesses to renowned entities like NASA, the Walt Disney Company, and the Facebook newsroom. But first things first, WordPress is a CMS or content management system. In simple terms, it is a free tool or platform that helps you create, edit, and manage your own website or blog without needing to learn code. Whether you're a small business owner, a passionate blogger, or an aspiring entrepreneur, WordPress provides the perfect platform to showcase your ideas, products, and services to the world. Did you know more than 40% of all the websites in the world are built using WordPress? You can therefore rest assured that it is an extremely reliable, secure, and sustainable platform to use. Let's look at a few examples to see what type of websites have been built on WordPress. First up, we have the Art Gallery of Ballarat, which is a gallery situated in Australia. They have an extensive collection of artwork, host exhibitions, and also sell jewelry, gifts, and accessories. The next example is a business website of a plumbing company based in Cape Town. And as you will notice, the homepage is full of helpful information. We can read about the services, see testimonials, and also find out where they are situated and how we can contact them. The third example is of a food blog named Minimalist Baker, where you can find simple recipes, shop for kitchen utensils, and also learn more about baking and cooking. The last example is of a website named Mrs. O Around the World. It is a luxury travel blog filled with travel hacks, guides, and more. Something else to mention is that WordPress is open source. That means it is a free software that anyone can download and use. It also means that anyone can contribute to the code or in other areas of WordPress to help improve it. Even you can get involved. There are two important elements to remember when you start building your WordPress site: themes and plugins. You will need a theme that will determine the look and feel of your website. And there are thousands of free and premium themes to choose from. And secondly, WordPress allows you to install plugins to add extra functionality to your website. Plugins can, for example, be added if you want to sell products on your site, to improve the security or speed of your website, to add forms, etc. And please note, the themes and plugins featured here are merely examples. So to summarize, WordPress is a free tool you can use to build a website without knowing any code. WordPress is used by individuals such as bloggers, small business owners, etc., as well as large companies and even government agencies. WordPress is truly for everyone. But now you might be asking, what happens after I download WordPress? That is a great question and exactly what we will be talking about in our next video, as you will need a domain name and a place to host your site. All the best as you start your journey with WordPress. Hi, and welcome to Learn WordPress. In this tutorial, we'll be discussing an essential aspect of setting up your website, choosing the right website domain and hosting provider. The learning outcomes for this lesson are to differentiate between domains and hosting, describe what it means to bundle domains, and identify factors to consider when choosing a hosting company. Let's start by clarifying the difference between a host and a domain. Imagine your website is a mobile home and your domain is the address, and your host as the land where your house or website is built. A domain is the unique web address that visitors type into their browsers to find your site. For example, the domain name for the official Coca-Cola website is www.coca-colacompany.com. On the other hand, a host is a service that stores your website's files and makes them accessible to users on the internet. It is also important to note that you can change hosting companies if the need arises. And it is possible to change your hosting company without changing your domain. But reach out to the new hosting company to ensure you follow the correct steps. When it comes to choosing a hosting provider, you can look for one that bundles domains. This means the provider offers both hosting services and domain registration in one package. Bundling domains with hosting simplifies the process, as you won't need to manage different accounts with different providers. Something to take note of is you can also buy domain names separately before signing up with a hosting company. By purchasing the domain separately, you have more control over your domain settings. It also makes it easier to switch hosting providers. Just remember to keep track of your domain registration renewal dates. The first step is to select a domain registrar, which is a company that manages the reservation of domain names. Secondly, search and select a domain name. You can also choose country-specific domains if you prefer. Then you can register the domain, configure domain settings, and then choose a hosting provider. When selecting a hosting provider, consider factors like: Number 1, reliability. Choose a provider with a good track record for uptime and reliable customer support. Number 2, scalability. Opt for a provider that allows you to easily upgrade your hosting plan as your website grows. Number 3, security. Ensure the hosting provider offers robust security features such as SSL certificates and regular backups. Number 4, user-friendly interface. Look for a provider with an intuitive control panel that makes it easy to manage your website. And lastly, affordability. Compare pricing plans to find a provider that offers the right features within your budget. So let's see all of this in action. If you visit a hosting provider, you will usually see different pricing plans with the relevant features and information that you need to make an informed decision. To sum up, understanding the distinction between a host and a domain is crucial for anyone looking to create a website. Remember, the host provides the space and resources for your website, while the domain serves as its unique address on the internet. Or to put it differently, a website hosting company provides a space on the internet, a server, where your website's files are stored. This enables people to access your website anytime by typing its address or its domain. Many hosting companies also provide one-click solutions, allowing you to register a domain name, install WordPress, and set up hosting. Well, literally in one click. This process removes any technical hurdles for users. There are a plethora of hosting companies to select from, and you have the choice to host your site wherever you choose. Please note these are only some examples, and there are many more hosting companies to explore. When you have registered a domain name and have selected a hosting provider, you can start planning and designing your site. In today's session, we will discuss choosing and installing the right theme for you. Here are the learning objectives for this workshop: to differentiate between the 4 different types of themes, to find and evaluate themes, to install and update your theme, and lastly, to access support for your theme. Let's get going. In short, a theme is basically a website template with a certain layout and design. When you use WordPress, your content is completely separated from its presentation. This means that the look and feel of your site can change completely by just using a different theme, while your content will remain the same. Let's look at an example. Here I am using the 2023 default theme. And in the next example, I've installed and activated the Bounce theme, which has a very different look and feel to it. But the content remains the same. It is also important to highlight that your site won't look the same as the thumbnail or example pages of the theme you install and activate. It is merely an example of what can be achieved and sometimes requires specific plugins to be installed to achieve the initial appearance. There are thousands of free themes available in WordPress, but there are also premium themes available outside of the theme repository. But please take note, many free versions also offer premium packages. You might be asking, what type of themes are there? There are 4 types of themes to take note of: block themes, classic themes, hybrid themes, and universal themes. It might be helpful to mention that block themes and classic themes are most commonly used, and that block themes are the future of WordPress. Let's then start by looking at block themes. A block theme uses blocks for all parts of a site, including navigation menus, headers, content, and footers. Block themes allow you to edit and customize all parts of your site within the site editor. Let's see a block theme in action. I will make my way to Appearance and click on Themes. I have activated a block-based theme called 2023, and in the left sidebar, you will notice we have access to the editor. If we click on Editor, we will be taken to the Site Editor, and here you are able to create and edit pages. You can create a draft page or edit one of your existing pages. Next, we can also change the site-wide styles of our site, or we can customize the appearance of specific blocks for the whole site. The site editor also allows you to set up templates. You can add new templates or edit the templates that come with your theme. And lastly, you can also manage a variety of patterns that you have created yourself, or header and footer template part patterns that we of course add to templates. I realize that some folks might be unfamiliar with terms like styles, templates, etc. So please check out the resources below this video to learn more. There is also a wonderful new feature that allows you to preview a block theme before switching. When you hover over the block theme, you will see a button Live Preview. When you click on Live Preview, you will be taken into the site editor. So not only are you able to preview the site, but you also get a taste of the site editor. And now you can go ahead and make any changes or customizations as you please. I will, for example, change the style variation and also change the font of the text. And now we can explore our pages, our templates, etc. And if you like what you see, you even have the option to activate and save the theme and the changes you have made. A classic theme does not use the block editor to manage the site layout beyond posts and pages. These use the customizer, menus, and widgets to make changes to theme settings. And since classic themes have been around the longest, there are many more to choose from. Let's take a closer look at an example of a classic theme. When we make our way to Appearance and click on Themes, you will notice I've activated the 2016 theme. And in the sidebar settings, you will have access to the customizer and more. And when you open the customizer, you will be able to change all your theme settings from here. Please note, block themes on the other hand provide greater flexibility for designing and customizing your website. A hybrid theme is a classic theme that adopts some features of site editing, like the template editor. A hybrid theme such as Excel still uses the customizer to make changes, while also being able to create your own custom templates. So let's make our way to Pages, open one of your pages, and go to the sidebar settings on the right. Click on Templates, And here you are able to assign a page to a different template or create a custom template. And lastly, a universal theme is a theme that can be configured completely either way, as a block theme or classic theme. In this example, I've installed the universal theme Emulsion, and as you will notice, you have access to the customizer as well as the editor. Next, let's talk about searching and adding a new theme. To add a new theme, go to Appearance and click on Themes. And at the top, click on Add New. You can search for the most popular themes, the latest themes that's been added, and there's even a designated area for block themes. When you click on a theme, you will be able to see more details about the theme, as well as a preview. When you click on Feature Filter, you will be able to search for themes according to subject, features, and layout. What makes a good theme? To review a theme, make your way to WordPress.org, hover over Download and Extend, and then click on Themes. Here you can search for a variety of themes. Once you find the theme you are looking for, click on More Info to find out more about the specific theme. On the right-hand side, you will find all the information you need to make an informed decision. When you look at the version updates, active installations, and ratings, it will give you a good sense of the overall experience others have had with this theme. How do I install a theme? To install a new theme, make your way to Appearance, click on Themes, and select Add New. Once you find the theme you are looking for, click on Install. And once installed, don't forget to click on Activate. If you have a theme in the form of a zip file, you can install it manually. Click on Add New, and then at the top, select Upload Theme. And then you can upload it from your computer. What about updates? If there are updates available, you will be notified in the top menu bar as well as the dashboard menu. You can navigate to the Updates page and scroll down. And here you will find a single theme or a list of themes that have updates available. And from this page, you can choose to update individual themes or all at once. Remember to back up your site before making any updates, or you can consider using a child theme. A child theme is a sub-theme that inherits the look and feel of the main theme and all of its functions. Using a child theme lets you upgrade the parent theme without affecting the customizations you've made to your site. Customizations are kept separate from the main theme's files, but I'll add a link to this in the resources below. Another option is to make your way to Appearance, click on Themes, and go to the theme that needs to be updated. And at the top, you will have the option to select Update Now, or click on Theme Details, and at the top, you will also be able to update. And lastly, you also have the option to enable auto updates for this specific theme. How do I delete a theme? To delete a theme, select the relevant theme, and at the bottom right, you will have the option to delete. And lastly, how do I get support? To get support, make your way to the theme directory, select the relevant theme, and scroll down to support. The best way to get help with a theme is by going to the theme's related support forum to ask questions or view other tickets. I trust you will find the right theme that meets all your needs. One of the biggest advantages of using WordPress is the ability to choose and install plugins to extend the functionality of your website. There are a variety of plugins available that can be used to add extra functionality around social media, analytics, security, marketing, membership and subscriptions, performance optimization, SEO, and the list goes on. These plugins can help you get more out of your website and make it more dynamic. Maybe you would like to add a map, a contact form, to launch a multilingual website, build an e-commerce site, or increase the speed of your site with caching. All of this can be achieved with the right plugins. You can view all the thousands of plugins available when you visit WordPress.org and browse through the plugins directory. While all of the plugins mentioned are free and available in the WordPress.org plugin repository, they may also have premium versions available at a cost that provide more functionality. To add a plugin, make your way to Plugins in the WordPress dashboard and select Add New. This will open up on the Featured page, and you have the option to view the most popular plugins, recommended plugins, and a Favorites tab. When you are ready to find a suitable plugin, use the search function at the top right of the page. If you type SEO, for example, the repository gives you a list of plugins based on what you searched. Now, let's talk about what to look out for when choosing a plugin. Let's compare the 3 top plugins. There are 4 important things to take note of. Firstly, the star rating. That refers to feedback from customers who installed the plugin. Secondly, when it was last updated. This indicates it is actively being supported and worked on. So I would suggest avoiding plugins that have not been updated in a long time. Thirdly, active installations. This indicates a popular and well-supported plugin. And then lastly, compatibility. Make sure the plugin is compatible with the latest version of WordPress. When you click on more details, you will be able to see how well supported a plugin is. There is also an area for frequently asked questions and a place where you can read reviews. Let's search for a different plugin as an example of how to install and activate a plugin. We will go ahead and search for a Forms plugin. There are various options, for example, Contact Form 7, Contact Form by WP Forms, and Ninja Forms. I will go ahead and install Contact Form by WP Forms, and once installed, you have to click on Activate. And then of course it's time to set up the plugin. And when your plugin is set up, it's a simple task using your block directory to add the form wherever you wish. Please note, you can also easily add a new plugin by uploading a zip archive of the plugin from your local computer. Many premium plugins can be downloaded outside the WordPress plugin directory. If you would like to stop using a plugin, you can go to your plugins section and click on Deactivate. And once deactivated, you will have the option to delete the plugin permanently. But what happens if you experience a plugin conflict? There are 2 main ways to identify plugin conflicts on your site. Number 1, manually deactivate plugins and then test them one by one to find the plugin causing a problem. And number 2, use a troubleshooting plugin, for example, health check and troubleshooting. But remember to install well-built plugins and use the 4 criteria we discussed earlier. Plugins are amazing tools to add extra functionality to your site, and I trust you will find the right ones to meet your needs. Let's get acquainted with the WordPress dashboard. To log into your site, enter the following in a web browser address bar. Fill in your details and click on Login. Once we log into the dashboard, we can see the main admin bar at the top. Let's start with the home icon for your site, and clicking on this takes you to the public-facing homepage of your site or the front end of your site. And when you click on it again, it takes you back to your dashboard. Then there are 2 notification icons. New comments and updates will appear here. Hovering over New brings up a menu of links to create new items such as posts, media items, pages, or even adding new users. And the actual contents of this list depend on the user role. And all the way in the right corner of the admin bar, you'll see your username and avatar. And from this menu, clicking on either your name or edit profile, it will take you to the edit profile page. Just below the dark gray admin bar are 2 tabs, the Screen Options tab and the Help tab. The Screen Options tab appears on most administrative pages, and it allows you to control the elements that appear on that page. If you deselect a widget, it disappears. In the body of the dashboard, you'll find a number of administrative widgets or panels, and you've seen how these can be shown or hidden using the checkboxes in the Screen Options tab. And their position can also be changed simply by dragging and dropping them where you want. As a side note, this is just one of the possible WordPress dashboard configurations. The dashboard view will change based on what plugins you have active and your hosting company and how you personally configure it. When using the Quick Draft widget, anything entered into this forum will be saved as a draft post. That is, it will be saved but not published on your site. This is very handy for jotting down quick ideas for posts that you would like to come back to and finish later. The At a Glance widget gives you a quick total for the number of pages, posts, and comments that are currently on your site. It also displays the current theme and the version of WordPress that you're using. Activity shows your most recent posts and comments. And the WordPress Events and News panel is a great way to get involved with the WordPress community. Based on your location, you'll see a list of different WordPress related events and meetups. Now, the most common way of moving around the admin area is by using the navigation links in the left sidebar. Some of these are used much more frequently than others, particularly posts, pages, and comments. With that in mind, you'll notice that more of the content-focused menu items are located in the top section, whereas menu items focused on functionality, appearance, and other settings are grouped together down at the bottom. Next up, let's talk about posts. Posts are for dynamic content, such as a blog post or a book review. They are individual pieces of content on your blog page or news page, for example. When you publish a post, it will generally appear in reverse chronological order on your posts page, so when visitors come to your site, they will always be presented with the latest posts, and posts will change over time as you add new content. Pages, on the other hand, are for more static content. When you click on Quick Edit, you can quickly change categories, tags, and several other items. Trash moves the post to the trash folder, and you can recover anything that you've put into the trash for up to 30 days. You can use checkboxes next to the posts to perform actions on multiple items, like editing or trashing. You can also filter the list of posts by date, month, and year, and categories. Lastly, you can search for words or phrases that may be contained in your posts. Before we look at media, let's talk about pages. So, a page is for static content, and the page generally will always stay the same. Though, just like a post, you can update it whenever you want. Pages are useful things like an about page, contact page, or even something like the history of your site or company. Next, let's talk about media. The media library contains all your media files, from images, audio files, Excel spreadsheets, and even PDF documents. You can display items in the grid view or list view. When you select Add New and click on Select Files, you can upload media from your computer or drag and drop multiple files at the top. The only bulk action for the media library is to delete media items permanently. Next up, we are going to talk about comments. Comments are, of course, the messages that visitors to your site leave below posts. When you click on comments, you will see a list of all the comments on your site. As you hover over each comment, you can see the different options that are available to you, such as approve, unapprove, reply, quick edit, edit, spam, and trash. To the left, you can see the comment has information like their name, their gravatar, and their email address. As you move your cursor to the right, you can also see which post or page this comment was left on. And all the way to the right, you'll find the date and the time that the comment was submitted. Next, let's discuss appearance. In the appearance section, you can change your site's theme. If you're using a block-based theme, you will have access to the site editor, which will allow you to create overall site structure and to edit your site cohesively from one place. But if you're using a classic theme, you will have access to the customizer, widgets, and so forth. Next up, plugins. When you open the plugins menu and click on Add New, you'll be able to install, manage, and uninstall plugins for your site. Lastly, let's touch on users. Under the Users menu, you can manage users on your site. The different roles are subscriber, contributor, author, editor, and administrator. We will learn more about these and the settings below in later lessons. I trust you now have a better grasp on navigating your way through the dashboard. Good day and welcome back to your Learn WordPress journey. In this section, we're going to dive into a fundamental aspect of WordPress, understanding the difference between posts and pages. Here are the learning outcomes for this lesson. We will learn to differentiate between posts and pages, create a post and page, apply categories and tags to posts, and create and edit a page in the site editor. Before we jump into the specifics, let's start with an overview. In WordPress, both posts and pages are content types, but they serve different purposes. In short, posts are used for dynamic content, such as blog posts, news articles, recipes, etc. Whereas pages are static type content, like a contact page, for example. Here we are in the WordPress dashboard. To create a new post or page, you can navigate to the Posts or Pages section on the left-hand menu. And if you want to create a new post or page, merely click on Add New Post or Add New Page. Let's start with posts. Posts are for dynamic, regularly updated content entries that are displayed in reverse chronological order. They are perfect for content that you regularly update, such as blog articles, news pages, or even reviews. Imagine you have a cooking blog and you want to share your latest recipe. You would create a new post for this content. Now, as you can see in this example, I've already created 2 different posts and I've added categories and tags. Categories and tags are essential for posts. Categories are like the table of contents for your blog, grouping similar posts together. Tags, on the other hand, are more specific keywords that describe the content in greater detail. So for my food blog, I've created 2 categories already, one called mains and one called breakfast. And the tags describe more about the recipe. So let's go ahead and create a new post. A chocolate cake recipe. But please note, I've already created a category named dessert and 2 tags, namely cakes and cupcakes and chocolate. So now we'll go ahead to all posts and then click on Add New Post. Firstly, I will add the title of the blog post and then the recipe. Once I've added the recipe, I will open up the sidebar settings and scroll down to categories and tags. Then I will select the dessert category and add the chocolate and cake and cupcakes tags. Next, I will also add the post featured image or the post thumbnail and select an image from my media library. Next, we can decide to save this as a draft, or if we scroll up in our sidebar settings, we can click on the date next to publish and then decide to publish this now or schedule it to go live at a later stage. I will go ahead and publish this now, and then we can see what our posts look like on the front end. Here we can see our 3 recipes on our blog page, and we can also open up one of our individual recipes to see the end result. Now let's talk about pages. Pages are static, timeless content that doesn't change frequently. Examples include your site's homepage, a services page, an about page, and a contact page. If you want to create a dedicated About Us section for your website, you'd use a page. Unlike posts, pages don't have categories or tags. They are standalone pieces of content. So let's go ahead and add a new page and call it About. And then add some content. Once published, we can view it on the front end. And you will also notice that the About page is now part of the navigation menu. Did you know you can also create and edit pages in the site editor? So let's make our way to editor, and this will take us into the site editor. Then we can make our way to pages, and here you are able to create a new page, or you can edit an existing page. The great thing about the site editor is that you can seamlessly move between pages, styles, templates, patterns, etc. And there we have it. Remember, posts are for dynamic, regularly updated content, while pages are for static, timeless information. In this lesson, we will delve deeper into the media library. We will learn to navigate and manage the media library, add alt text, and also understand the importance of optimizing images. Media consists of the images, video recordings, and files that you upload and use in your site. And of course, media is inserted into pages and posts. I also think you'll agree, media plays a crucial role in enhancing the overall experience and effectiveness of a website. You can add various types of media to your library, from photos, screenshots, audio, PDF documents, spreadsheets, PowerPoint presentations, and more. When you open your media library, it will open to the default grid view. And in the grid view, thumbnails of images, audio icons, etc. are all arranged in grid structure. And here you are able to filter through your media to find what you are looking for. At the top, next to the grid view icon, you can filter your media by media type and date. The All Media Items drop-down allows you to select by the types of media, such as images, audio, video, documents, and even spreadsheets. You can also view any media that is unattached to any posts or pages. And this means the media is in your media library, but you haven't used it anywhere on your site. Let's use the filtering option, for example, to only see audio files or documents like a PDF or even spreadsheets. And then of course, you can just go back to seeing all media items. Next, the All Dates drop-down allows you to view images based on their upload dates. You can quickly find media you have uploaded in a specific month, or you may choose to view all. When you click on Bulk Select, you can delete media simultaneously. You can also search for media using the search block top right, by, for example, using words from the description or file name. In this case, I would like to see all my shoe-related images, all done with a simple search. You can also view your media in List View. In List View, all your media will be listed below each other, as the name implies, and you will also be able to see the file name and what type of file it is, for example, a PDF or JPEG. To add media to your library, click on Add New Media File in the sidebar or at the top. Once selected, you will be able to drag and drop single or multiple files into the page or use the Select Files option. When you add media to a page or a post using the image block or the gallery block, for example, you will be able to upload images directly from your computer into your postal page and media library, or directly from your media library. When it comes to larger videos, it's better to embed them via the YouTube block or the video block, as it will save space in your media library and for better performance. When you open an image, you'll be able to add attributes such as alternative text, the title, a caption, and a description. It is important to always add alt text to an image. The alt text is a concise description of an image for users who can't view the image. And it's also good for your site's SEO or your site's search engine optimization. Adding a description also enhances SEO and allows for better organization and understanding of the image's purpose or content. When you click on Edit Image, you will be able to crop the image, as well as scaling it or resizing it for image optimization. The dimensions update automatically once you change the height or the width. And don't be concerned, when you select Restore Original Image, you can restore the image to its original format. You also have the option to rotate or to flip the image. To end off, let's briefly talk about image optimization. It is advised to optimize images before uploading them to your media library to improve page load speed and save server space. You can use web-based tools to achieve this. For example, sites like TinyPNG, Bulk Resize, or Squish.app, to only name a few. Remember to save images with a descriptive and relevant file name before adding it to your media library. It helps search engines understand the content of the image, contributing to better SEO. Search engines may use file names as a factor when indexing and ranking content. Another option is to use an image optimization plugin. There are various image optimization plugins available to choose from when you search the plugins directory. When you find a plugin that suits your needs, you can install and activate and follow the necessary steps. Both of these methods, using a web-based tool or plugin, improve overall performance by compressing images without compromising visual quality. All the best as you use the media library to elevate your site to the next level. Creating posts and pages with the WordPress block editor. Today we're diving into the heart of content creation, using the powerful WordPress block editor. The learning outcomes for this lesson are defining the block editor, navigating the block editor interface, differentiating between the content editing area and the settings sidebar, creating a page and post, and lastly, using blocks, patterns, and the list view. The WordPress block editor allows you to build your site with blocks, no code required. As seen before, to create a post or page, log into your WordPress dashboard. From the dashboard, navigate to either posts or pages in the left-hand menu. Let's create a new page to take a closer look at the block editor interface. Once we add a new page, we can also provide a suitable title for the page. When you click on the inserter, you will be able to add a range of different blocks to build your page. Blocks can be anything from paragraphs, images, columns, galleries, pricing tables, and more. Block patterns is another great feature. These are set groups of blocks or pre-designed blocks that you can quickly add to build entire sections and then modify it to meet your needs. And on the right, next to patterns, we can add media. Firstly, from our media library or from Openverse. They provide openly licensed media that is available to use for free. There are multiple ways to add a block. Firstly, you can click on the inserter top left or on the inserter within the page. The 6 blocks that appear below search will be your most recently used blocks. Or you can use the / command. So let's say / image and add an image from our media library, which I've already uploaded. Next, I will press enter and then add some text to my paragraph block. And then add another paragraph. The interface is divided into three main sections: the content editing area, the left sidebar for selecting blocks or the list view, which we will talk about in a moment, and the settings sidebar on the right. The settings sidebar on the right provides additional settings and options for the selected block, allowing you to style the block further. Each block, of course, will have different settings available. When you select a block, you will also see the block toolbar related to the specific block, in this case, the paragraph block. And starting from the left, the block toolbar allows you to transform this block to a different type of block, drag and drop a block to a new location, or use arrows to relocate a block, change the alignment of the text, select bold, italics, or allow you to add a link. The drop-down arrow allows highlighting, adding footnotes, and other styling options. And when you click on the three vertical dots, you will see more options. Next, it is also important to highlight the list view. In this example, you will notice that I've built an entire page using a variety of blocks. And if we scroll up, we can open up the list view, top left. The list view helps you navigate between layers of content and nested blocks. It is an indispensable feature of the WordPress editor that makes it easy for you to work with the blocks on your site. You can view the exact order and structure of every block on the page, which is especially helpful if you have a page with a lot of content. You can select blocks that have other blocks nested inside them. You can click and drag blocks to move them to a different part of the page. And when you click on the ellipsis, the three dots next to any block in the list view, there are a variety of helpful options. Let's return to our original page and continue building the page using blocks to see the block editor in action. Firstly, let's add a gallery block and then select 3 images from our media library. Once inserted, I'll select the gallery block, click on the 3 vertical dots and select Add After. Then I will click on the inserter top left and add a pattern, a pre-designed group of blocks. And I will select one of the featured patterns to schedule a visit. Then I will open up my list view, select the group block, and change the alignment of the text. Next, let's look at the sidebar settings. Once we select a block, we can use the sidebar settings to style the block further. In this case, we can add a rounded effect to our image. I'll select my second paragraph and use the block toolbar to change the text to bold. Then I will select my list view to ensure that I select my parent gallery block. And in the sidebar settings, I will change it from having 3 columns to 2. And then finally, I will select my buttons block and change the background color to green. I trust you now see how the puzzle pieces of the block editor fit together, using blocks to add content, using the settings sidebar to style and edit your content, and using the list view to navigate your content. Please note you can also create and edit pages in the site editor. So let's make our way to Appearance and click on Editor. And this will of course take us into the site editor. Then we can select Pages, and I will open up the Using the Block Editor page and then select Edit. In the site editor, we add content to the content block. And then it works exactly the same, and we can keep building our page using blocks. In this case, I will add an embed YouTube block. add my URL, and then embed the video into my page. To end off, creating a post is exactly the same as creating a page. We use blocks to build the structure of our content. And please note, we cover adding categories, tags, and a featured image in a different lesson. I trust you now have a better understanding of navigating the block editor, as well as using blocks, the settings sidebar, and the list view. Let's discuss some basic WordPress settings. As you embark on your WordPress website journey, you'll discover a range of options located under Settings at the bottom left of your dashboard. We will delve deeper into these options at a later stage, but let's focus on a few key settings to get your site up and running smoothly. The learning outcomes are setting your site title and tagline, updating your site's time zone, and choosing your homepage display. First up, let's talk about your site's identity. In the settings menu, you'll find General. These elements are not just for show. They play a vital role in how your site appears in search engine results. So what can you do? Craft a compelling title and tagline that not only represents your site but also entices visitors to open your site when they see it listed on search engines or when they visit your site. The site title and tagline should tell visitors what your site is about and who you are trying to attract. They are often among the first things visitors will notice on your site. The title is usually the name of your site, while the tagline is a short phrase or sentence that aims to communicate the site's main focus. Please note, you can choose not to display your tagline. But as mentioned, search engines pay attention to titles and taglines, which will also help you improve your site's SEO. So remember to add your tagline, even though you might decide not to display it on the front end of your site. Here is an example from a search engine where you don't see the tagline on the site, but when you search for Mantis Research, you will see the site title, Mantis Research, and part of the tagline, helping marketers publish research that gets attention. You can change your site's title and tagline below General Settings, as shown in the example here. You can also update your site title and tagline within the site editor when updating your header, for example. If you update or change the site title block or the site tagline block, it will also update automatically below the general settings. Next, let's discuss the time zone settings below General. It is best if your site's time zone matches the time zone settings on your computer or local time. It ensures that your scheduled posts go live at the right time, and if you post content ahead of time, you'll know exactly when it will be published. You also have the option to select your own date format as well as time format. And you can even decide when you want your week to start. Now, let's focus on the structure of your website. In Reading, under Settings, you have the power to decide what visitors see when they land on your site. Do you want a dynamic homepage that showcases your latest posts, or perhaps a static page? The choice is yours. By default, WordPress displays a list of posts on the homepage of your site. This list of posts is automatically updated as soon as new posts are published. Also, there is no need to create any page to have a homepage with your latest posts. You might be asking, so where do I edit this homepage that displays my latest posts? This homepage is displayed via your blog home template. So, if you have selected your latest posts as your homepage display, you can make your way to Appearance and click on Editor. This will open up your site editor, and on the right, by default, your blog home template will appear. To open it up, merely click on it, and now you can start editing your homepage template that displays your posts via the query loop block. You can edit and customize your homepage right here. But if you prefer to have a static homepage, you can go ahead and make your way to pages and then create a home page as well as a page for posts, in this case my blog page. And then you can go ahead and create any other pages that you want on your site. You can head back to the dashboard, select Settings, Reading, and then next to your homepage displays, activate Using a Static Page. And then select one of the pages you created as your homepage or front page. And then below that, you can also select another page to display your dynamic posts or blog, for example. When you select a static page, your home page will automatically be assigned to the default page template. Let's make our way to Pages to see this in action. When I open my static home page and then open up my settings sidebar, we will notice on the right next to Template, it says that this page has been assigned to the page template or the default template. That means that your static home page and other pages that have been assigned to this default template will share the same template, or in other words, the same header and footer. So if you wanted to update the header and the footer and the structure for this page, you do it in the template. But you of course head back to your home page to start adding content and building your home page from here using blocks. And when you edit your posts page, you will notice at the top it says you are currently editing the page that shows your latest posts. And once again, your blog page has been assigned to the blog home template. And please take note, you will build your entire blog page within the blog home template and leave this page empty. Configuring the basic WordPress settings correctly is essential for your site's functionality and appearance. And as mentioned, we will look at more settings further down the line. We are going to try and answer the question, what is the difference between the block editor and the site editor? We will compare the block editor and the site editor as well as explore the site editor tools. And by the end, we'll feel confident in using both things together to create our entire site layout. Without further ado, let's begin. Site editing allows you the freedom to build every aspect of your WordPress site, from the header all the way down to the footer, using the power of blocks within the site editor feature. But what is the site editor? How does it differ from the block editor that we are used to? How can we use templates in the site editor to create our overall structure? To answer these burning questions, let's take a trip through our dashboard and compare the two. The block editor is the foundation of your site's content and is used to add content to pages and posts. Let's refresh ourselves on how to add page and post content. In your dashboard, head to Pages if you are creating a static page, or go to Posts for dynamic content such as a blog post. When you click on Add New, you will create content for that specific page or post. Compared to this, what does the site editor allow us to do exactly? The site editor allows us to edit our site cohesively. Pages and posts are only used to add static or dynamic content using blocks. On the other hand, the site editor uses blocks to create the overall look and feel of your site using templates. But it also allows us to add and edit pages to ensure a seamless site editing experience. If you've installed a block theme like 2024, access the site editor via Appearance and then click on Editor. The site editor loads your site's front page for editing. On the left, there's the Site View sidebar. This tool lets you toggle between the key parts of your site: navigation, styles, pages, templates, and patterns. Let's start with navigation. Here you can quickly see and tweak all your menus. You can rename them, rearrange menu items, etc. When you click on Styles, you have the ability to change the style combination of your theme. And when you click on Edit Styles, you can change your entire site's typography, colors, and layout. If you look down further below, you also have the option to customize the appearance of specific blocks for your whole site. To see how these blocks will change if you edit them, go to your site's style book. As mentioned, here you can preview any changes made. Below pages, you also have the option to create and edit pages, the same as when you are in the dashboard. This feature allows you to stay in the site editor when editing your site or content on a page. When working inside a page in the site editor, we add content to the content block. Next, we'll make our way to patterns. Below patterns, we have access to a library of patterns. We will be able to create and manage our own patterns. We can view the patterns provided by our theme, and then we can also create and manage template parts. A quick note on template parts. These are reusable groups of blocks that you can use to create repeated parts of your template, like the header and footer. But now, let's focus on templates. When we open templates, let's take a look at the top menu and run through what these elements allow you to do. The plus icon or inserter top left allows you to add any block or a pattern of blocks to any template you're working on. Next to your inserter, you have the undo and the redo button. Next is the list view. This is a super useful tool that allows you to see a list of all the blocks that are on your page. This is great for seeing your page's structure, as well as editing, moving, and removing blocks. In the middle at the top is the name of the template. When you click on the preview button, you will be able to see what your site will look like with the changes applied on desktop, tablet, or mobile. And then if you click on save, you can save changes. Next, the settings tab lets you display or hide the template and block settings sidebar. So when you select a block, for example, you can use the settings sidebar to style the block further. Next to the settings tab, you've got the styles tab, which is another place where you can access your style settings. And finally, if you click on the three vertical dots, you've got access to more options, such as selecting the spotlight mode, etc. Now we've had a brief rundown of the menu options. Let's take a closer look at templates. At the top, it says express the layout of your site with templates. Templates use blocks in order to create the overall design of your site by adding a header, footer, or even sidebar. We can see all three at play when we open the page with sidebar template. We can see the structure being provided by the header, the sidebar, and the footer. Please also note, templates can be applied to a single page or multiple pages. With that in mind, let's say we want to add the template that's applied to our pages, for example. There are a few options provided by our theme here. For example, the default page template or the page with wide image. But let's choose the page with no title. When the template loads, you'll see an example of what this template looks like without any content. Here is where the list view comes in really handy. The sidebar on the left will show you how the blocks that make up this template are structured. Here you can see the components that make up this page template. The header is clearly marked when you click on it, as is the footer. In the middle, you'll see a group block that contains a post content block within it. This is super important. The content block is what allows the content of your page or post to appear in this template. Think of this block as the container for whatever you wrote in your pages or posts section. Without a container, your page content won't have anywhere to be displayed. So remember, we don't add content to templates. We only modify our header and footer or sidebar. Let's go ahead and replace this header with a different header pattern that comes with our theme. We can scroll through the available options, and then I will go ahead and select the centered header with logo pattern. And I will also select one of my existing navigation menus named Lifestyle. Once selected, we can go ahead and save. Awesome, the page template is saved. But how do we add this template to a page? For that, we can navigate back to our main dashboard and go to Pages. Then, click on the page you'd like to apply this template to. In your sidebar to the right, you'll see a template header. Go ahead and click on that. This drop-down menu lists all of the templates you currently have saved. In this case, let's select Page with no title. And then we can update. Here's how the page looks like with the default page template. And here it is with the page with no title template applied. You can repeat this for as many pages as you like, and the same applies to your posts. As you have seen, the block editor and the site editor work hand in hand. The block editor only allows us to add content to pages and posts. But the site editor gives you the ability to edit your site cohesively. You can edit the look and feel, modify templates, as well as add content to pages. Let's explore the site editor, which will allow you to design everything on your site using blocks, from the header to the footer and everything in between. Let's make our way to Appearance and click on Editor. This will open the site editor. On the left, there's the Site View sidebar, and this nifty tool lets you dive into the key parts of your site: navigation, styles, pages, templates, and patterns. This tutorial aims to gain a deeper understanding of these elements. Let's start at the top with navigation. Here you can quickly see and tweak all your menus. It's your command center for menu management. You can make simple edits directly, like reordering, and when you click on the 3 vertical dots next to the name of the menu item, you can rename, duplicate, and delete the menu item as required. If opened in the editing mode, you can make certain changes without any distractions, and updates will sync across your site. When you click on the plus icon, you can add new pages or other menu items. You will notice that the navigation block is locked in this area. If you would like to style your navigation menu, you will need to open a template or the template part it is part of. Next, let's talk about styles. When you select styles, you will be able to browse through a variety of different style combinations that come with your theme. When you click on Edit Styles, you can browse your styles from here and then change your site's typography, colors, and layout. Let's see how it works. When you click on typography, you can manage the typography settings for text, links, headings, captions, and buttons. A wonderful new feature is that you also now have access to a font library. Below fonts, we will currently see the fonts that have been added by our theme. But when we click on Manage Fonts, we will be able to install, remove, and activate local and Google fonts across your site with any block theme. When you click on Install Fonts, you will be able to install any Google font on your website. And click on Upload if you want to upload a font from your computer. Make sure you have the right to use any fonts you are uploading. Below typography, we will see colors. Here you can also change the colors for different global elements on your site. When we make our way to layout, we will notice you even have control of elements such as padding and block spacing. If you look down further below, you also have the option to customize the appearance of specific blocks for your whole site. To see how these blocks will change if you edit them, go to your site's stylebook. You will notice there's a little eye at the top. The stylebook allows a user to preview every block that can be inserted into your site. It gives you or provides you an at-a-glance preview of how global styles will affect any block's display without the user inserting those blocks into a template. It is also important to note that a block's styling can be adjusted within the stylebook. So let's update the buttons block, for example. Let's change the background color and then change the letter case to uppercase. If you like what you see, you can go ahead and click Save. Please also note that if you change an individual block in your stylebook, it takes precedence over the global styles you've set. While we are here, we also need to talk about style revisions. So let's go ahead and click on Style Revisions next to the stylebook icon. Style revisions will open up when you're in the stylebook or when you are editing a template. The Styles Revisions feature adds a visual way to browse changes to your styles over time, and you can easily revert to a previous stage if you find a style you prefer or want to revert back to a previous version. You merely have to select the version and then click on Apply. In this example, I am editing a template and will follow the same process. I will open up Style Revisions, select a previous style, and then click on Apply to revert back. When you click on the three vertical dots next to styles, you'll be able to reset styles as well as add additional CSS. Below styles, we can go to pages and create and publish pages from here. To add a new page, click on the plus icon next to pages and create a draft. But you can also, of course, create a new page when you're in your dashboard or WP admin. Next, let's open up one of our existing pages, my About page. When you open a page, it is important to remember to add content to the content block. To put it another way, the content block is the house or the container for all your content. The second thing to remember is that you can't customize your header and footer when editing a page. That's all part of managing templates. If you click on the header, you'll get a message that says edit your template to edit this block. If you want to modify the template that has been assigned to this page, you can click on Edit Template. This will take you to your page template in this example, and here you can modify your header and your footer. You will not be able to add content to a template. Content, of course, gets added to posts and pages. The content block is merely a placeholder in this context. This brings us to our next topic, namely templates. Templates provide the structure for how your content is displayed. When you select templates, you will notice a range of templates that come with your theme, built-in templates. For example, the page template that displays a single page, the index template that is a fallback template, or the single post template that displays the layout of single posts. And right at the bottom, we will see any custom templates. When you click on the plus icon next to templates, you can add a variety of new templates, even a custom template that can be applied to any post or page. Let's open the page template to better understand how a template works. A template provides structure. A template usually includes a header template part and a footer template part. And the post content block pulls in the content from the page or post assigned to the template. So a template is only used to modify the layout or design of the page, namely the header, footer, and even sidebar. The site editor therefore makes a clear distinction between editing the template and a page. You can modify your header and footer within the template. One of the options you also have is to click on the three vertical dots and select Replace Header. Then you can replace your current header with one of your existing header template parts or header patterns that come with your theme. Another option you have is to select your header and then click on Edit. This will allow you to modify your header or footer within template editing mode without any other distractions. To assign a new template to a page or post, open the relevant piece of content, in this case my About page, and then in your sidebar settings on the right, next to template, click on the name of the template, select Swap Template, and then you can choose a custom template to assign to your page or post. It is also worth mentioning that when you click on Manage All Templates and then select Bulk Edit, you will be able to explore and filter through your templates via Table View or Grid View. And when you select Bulk Edit again, there are more filtering options. Please note, you can explore and filter pages and template parts in exactly the same way. Finally, let's talk about patterns. At the top, you will be able to view all the available patterns. When you select My Patterns, you can create and manage your own custom synced and non-synced patterns. Below My Patterns, we can view all our custom patterns as well as patterns that come with our theme in their relevant categories. And below Template Parts, we can also create and manage our header, footer, and general template parts. Template parts are essentially patterns. They are synced, reusable components that can be used across your site. Let's start with My Patterns. To create your own custom pattern, click on the inserter next to Patterns and then select Create Pattern. After naming it, you can select to add it to a relevant category and then decide to sync or not sync your pattern. A synced pattern will sync across your entire site, and that means if you make a change to your pattern in one place, it will update anywhere it is used. You can also toggle this off if you prefer to have a non-synced pattern. Non-synced patterns are just regular patterns that can be edited independently. When you return to your custom pattern area, you will notice that synced patterns have a purple icon and non-synced patterns don't. Next, you will notice that the patterns that come with your theme are locked and you are therefore not able to edit them. But when you click on the 3 vertical dots below a pattern, you will be able to copy it to your My Patterns area. At the bottom, we can also create and manage our header, footer, and general template parts. You have 2 options here. You can create custom headers and footers or customize template part patterns that come with your theme. To create your own template part, click on the plus icon at the top next to Patterns and select Create Template Part. When you add a new template part, you have an option between general, header, and footer template parts. General template parts are not tied to any particular area, and remember to give them a descriptive name. When you open up a template part from here, you will be able to modify and edit your template part in template editing mode without any distractions. Or you can open up the relevant template, and in this case, my custom template, and then you can modify your header or footer template part from within the template. And as shown earlier on, you can easily replace one of your headers or footers with a pattern or an existing template part from the library. To end off, I also want to highlight an extremely helpful feature called the command palette that will save you loads of time and help you move around your site editor more effectively. The command palette allows you to swiftly complete tasks and navigate within the site editor. You can, for example, type in new to create a page or template, or just the name of the area where you want to go. For example, pattern, to manage all my patterns. You can access the command palette by using the shortcut Command K on Mac or Control K on Windows. You will also find it in the Site View sidebar by clicking on the search icon. Or you can merely click on the title bar. And that is our brief overview of what you are able to achieve using the site editor. In this lesson, we will delve deeper into templates. At the end of this tutorial, we want to be able to differentiate between pages and templates, know how to modify one of our base templates, how to add a new template, and lastly, how to assign a custom template to a page or post. A template provides the structure for how a page is displayed. That usually includes a header template part, a content area, and a footer template part. I think it is important to clarify the following information from the start. Templates are not for posting content, and templates for a post or page display your content with the post content block. Templates are, as the name implies, design templates that can be applied to single or multiple pages and posts. To access templates, make your way to Appearance and click on Editor. This will take you to your site editor. The editor can be used to customize the styles of your entire site, edit pages, modify templates, as well as manage all the different patterns on your site. When you start building a new website, you can edit existing templates or add new ones, and the theme you are using will determine which existing or built-in templates are available to use. So first up is the page template, which creates the structure for how individual pages will be displayed. Next is the single post template, which displays a single blog post. The index template displays posts, and the 404 template displays where no content is found. And these templates can of course all be modified as you please. Then there are also other built-in templates worth exploring. For example, a blank template. To add a new template, click on the inserter or plus icon next to templates. A modal appears where you can choose between different template options. You can, for example, create a template for a specific page, or a template for all your post categories, or an individual category. You can even create your own custom template that can be applied to any post or page. When you create a new template, in this case a custom template, and after you have named it, you will be asked if you would like to select a pattern, and if you want to start blank, merely select skip. Next, how do we edit templates? After selecting the relevant template, you can click on the edit icon in the sidebar next to pages, or on the template screen on the right. Once your template opens up, you can start editing your header and footer template parts. Let's pause to reflect for a moment. When you edit a template, you need to remember to separate the dynamic parts and the static parts. The dynamic part is the content part that will change for every page or post that uses the template. And as you can see in this example, the content from your page or post will be displayed where the post content block has been added in your template. The static parts are the reusable parts of the template that will stay the same, like the header and the footer. We therefore don't add any content to the template. The site editor therefore makes a clear distinction between editing a page's content and its template, making it easier for you to switch between the two modes and view them in the appropriate context. Let's see this in action. So let's go ahead and open up one of our pages, and in this case, my sample page. Once we open up our page, we can also go ahead and open up the list view. And when we select the post content block, we will notice that all our content that we've added has been added to the post content block. You will also see this in the settings sidebar on the right. But what will happen now if I try to edit my header and my footer? Let's go ahead and click on the header to try and modify this. You will see a message that pops up and it says edit your template to edit this block. And the same goes for our footer. If we try and edit our footer, we will be prompted to make our way to the template. So to do this, we can click on Edit Template in the settings sidebar on the right at the bottom. This will take you to the template that has been assigned to the relevant page. And now we can go ahead and update our header and our footer. And we will notice that the post content block is only a placeholder. We cannot add any content here. Next, I'm going to select my footer, click on the 3 vertical dots, and then replace this footer with one of my existing footer template parts. And when I'm done, I'm going to click Save, and now I have updated my page template. If you would like to return to the page, click on Back on your toolbar, and this will take you back to the page so that you can modify your content. And of course, you can edit your template separately. When we make our way back to templates in the Site View sidebar, we will notice right at the bottom there's an option to manage all templates. And when you select this, you will be able to rename and delete custom templates you have created, or you can clear the customizations of built-in templates you have modified. In the next section, we are going to discuss assigning a different template to a page or post. Now, at the moment, we are on the front end of my sample page, and we have assigned this page to the page template. I've gone ahead and created a custom template with a new header and a new footer. To assign the new custom template, we can click on Edit Page at the top, or we can make our way to the dashboard, open up Pages, select the relevant page, in this case the sample page, and then once we open up the page, we will see our content. But when we open up our sidebar settings, on the right we will see that this page has been assigned to the page template, the default template. If you click on the name, you will notice you are able to add a new template from here. You can edit the template assigned to the page, or if you click on the drop down, you can select or assign a new template to this page. I'm going to go ahead and select the custom template which I have created. And once I've done that, I will update. We can preview the page in a new tab, and now we will see that this page has a new header and a new footer due to the custom template which I have assigned to this page. Lastly, let's briefly talk about header and footer template parts which we use to set up our templates. You can edit a header or footer template part right within a template. In this example, I am editing my header template part, and I'm stacking my site title and my site tagline block together in a stacked group block. Then I'll also make sure that I open up my settings sidebar, and I will remove some spacing between the two blocks. When you select a header or footer template part, you will see an option that says Edit. When you select Edit, you will be able to edit the template part in template editing mode without any distractions. Another option is to make your way to Patterns in your Site View sidebar. When you select Patterns, you can scroll to the bottom, and here you are able to view and modify your header, footer, and general template parts. To add a new template part, click on the plus icon next to Patterns and select Create Template Part. You have an option between general, header, and footer template parts. General template parts are not tied to any particular area. And remember to give your template part a descriptive name. When you click on the 3 horizontal dots below a template part, you will be able to rename, duplicate, or delete it. And when you select the template part, you will be able to modify it in editing mode without any distractions as shown before. We hope you now have a better understanding of how templates work. To review, a template provides the structure for how your content is displayed, and this is usually accomplished by header and footer template parts. And templates can be assigned to single or multiple pages. In this lesson, we will take a closer look at using template parts. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to describe what template parts are and how they work, edit a template part, and replace a template part on a template. If you visit a well-designed website, you'll notice that one of its strengths is its consistency. Its headers, footers, and sidebars often have the same or very similar content to make it easy for viewers to find the information they are looking for, no matter where they are on a website. To get this effect, do web designers have to build their headers, footers, and sidebars from scratch on every page in their website? The short answer is no. With WordPress block themes, you will use a feature known as template parts. Firstly, what are template parts? Template parts are groups of blocks that you can use to create repeated parts of your template, like the header, footer, and a sidebar. Let's see this in action. When you're in your WordPress dashboard, make your way to Appearance and then click on Editor. This will take us to the Site Editor, and then we'll open up one of our templates, in this case the blog home template. And within a template, we create and modify our header and footer template part. Some block themes provide more or fewer options, but almost all come pre-packaged with a header and footer like you see here as part of the 2024 theme. WordPress has made it even more simple by providing header and footer patterns that are ready to be used and modified. So when you click on the 3 vertical dots of the header template part and select Replace Header, you will notice at the top existing template parts. And these are template parts that I've already created. And then below that, we will find header template part patterns. And now, of course, you will be able to select any of these patterns that come with your theme. And as mentioned, some themes might provide more, some less. And this works exactly the same for footers. Let's start by editing a header template part. When you click on Edit in the block toolbar, you can work on your header template part in editing mode without any other distractions. Firstly, let's open our list view. And then I'll go ahead and add my site logo to my header template part. So once I select the site logo block, I can upload an image from my media library or from my computer. Next, I'll select the site title block and add the site title for this website. Then I will save my header template part and return to my blog home template. Just a reminder, template parts are synced and will update everywhere it has been used. You will notice that the color purple indicates when a pattern is synced. Let's go to one of our other templates to see this in practice. So when we open our page template, for example, we'll see the header is exactly the same. Or when we open up our 404 template, we'll see that the changes have also applied here because template parts are synced. What if you wanted a different header on, say, your home page, for example, but you would like the rest of your website to have a standard header? In this case, you would want to create a new header template part or replace the header with a pattern and add it to your blog home template or your front page template. I'm going to modify my blog home template as I've selected my posts page as my home page display. So I'll make sure I select my header, click on the 3 vertical dots, and then select Replace Header. And now you can replace your home page header by using a pattern or an existing template part. I will replace the header with an existing header template part which I've already created called Banner Header. And now my home page will have its own unique header. And once I've saved, we can view our other templates to double check that they still have the standard header in place. Lastly, let's talk about creating a template part from scratch. Make your way to Patterns and then scroll down to Template Parts. Here you can view all your existing headers, footers, and general template parts. To create a new template part, click on the plus icon next to Patterns and then select Create Template Part. And from here, you can select a general template part, which is not tied to any particular area, a header template part, or a footer template part. In this case, we are going to create a footer template part. So firstly, we need to name it appropriately. In this case, a 4-column footer. And then we can click Create. And this will take us into focus mode again. And from here, we can start building from scratch. I'm going to take a shortcut and actually grab a pattern from the patterns directory. So make your way to wordpress.org, click on Extend and select Patterns. And from here, you can select from thousands of patterns. I will select Community Contributions, click on Footers, and then you can search for the right pattern. Once you find a pattern that appeals to you, you can copy the pattern, return to your website, and paste. And now you can start modifying it to meet your needs. And once updated, we can return to the patterns area, and you will notice that your new footer is part of your existing template parts, and you can add it to any template. When you select Manage All Template Parts, you will be able to rename and delete custom template parts or clear the customizations of template parts that were provided by your theme. I trust you now feel comfortable editing your templates and creating a header and footer for your site. In this lesson, we are going to apply what we've learned thus far by setting up our pages, posts, site logo, and navigation menu. First up, let's create our pages. I'll make my way to Pages, click on Add New Page, and then once I do that, I will be able to add or select a pattern that comes with my theme. And I'm using the 2024 default theme. So I'll go ahead and select a pattern that appeals to me and name it Home. After publishing, I'll make my way back to Pages and add my next page. This time I'm not going to choose a pattern, and I'll name this page Blog. Next, I'm going to create an About page and select the relevant pattern. And lastly, I will also create a contact page without choosing a pattern. Now I have my pages in place. So next, I'm going to make my way to Settings and click on Reading. And for my home page display, I will select a static page and set my home page as my static home page and my blog page as my posts page. Just a reminder, if you have selected your latest posts for your homepage display, you will modify the blog home template for this homepage or front page, as no page has been created. Please note, when we open up our static homepage and open the settings sidebar, we will notice that this page has been assigned to the page template or the default page template, and my blog page or posts page has been assigned to the blog home template, and this cannot be changed. And then we'll also notice that my other pages have also been assigned to the general or default page template, the same as my home page. Next, let's shift our attention to posts. And as you will notice, I've already created 2 posts, as well as categories and tags. Just a reminder, categories are used to classify content into main topics or sections, and tags are like labels that give specific details about content. As an example, I'm going to go ahead and add a new post. The post is about New York, and then I will add some dummy content. Thereafter, I will open up the settings sidebar and select the relevant category, in this case, travel. and I will add a new tag, namely city. Lastly, I will set the featured image or the post thumbnail. The featured image is of course the representative image for your post. And once set, we can hit publish and then view our 3 posts with their relevant categories and tags. Next, let's take a closer look at the navigation menu and make our way to Appearance and then click on Editor. This will open up the site editor. And on the right, we will notice our home page. And if we open up our home page, we will see the dummy content or the pattern that we added when we created the page. And at the top, we see the header pattern provided by our theme. And if we try to edit this header, we will see a message that says, edit your template to edit this block. So let's go ahead and click on Edit Template. And now we can edit the header for the page template. Please note this header will also be found on the blog home template. So if we make any changes to this header in the page template, it will also automatically update in the blog home template. As we can see, we have our navigation menu top right. And the great thing is this navigation menu was added automatically when we created our pages. When we select our navigation menu and open up the list view, we will notice that the navigation items are still part of a page list. So to change this, click on Edit in your settings sidebar to detach the page list so that you can manage navigation items individually. Once detached, you can use the list view to reorder navigation items, or you can use the arrows of the navigation block toolbar to reposition items where you want them. Next, I've decided to add social links to my navigation menu. So when I click on the inserter of the navigation block, I will insert a social icons block and then select the relevant social media platforms. In this case, X and Instagram. And don't forget to add the relevant URLs. When you select the navigation block, you can click on the 3 vertical dots in your settings sidebar to create a new menu or select one of your existing menus. When you select settings, you will be able to change the justification or alignment as well as the orientation of your navigation menu. Below that, you can also select a hamburger menu that will appear when your site is viewed on a smaller device. When you click on Styles, you have a variety of options to style your navigation menu further. Next, let's talk about the site logo block. As you will notice, the header pattern that was provided by my theme includes a site logo block. Click on the site logo block to add a new image from your media library or to upload one directly from your computer. I will go ahead and upload a logo that I've already added to my desktop. And then I will enlarge it slightly. Next, I would also like to add my navigation menu to my footer. So when we scroll down, we will notice that there are some dummy content below quick links, which was part of my default footer pattern that came with my theme. So when I open the list view and select the navigation block, I can click on the 3 vertical dots in my settings sidebar and then select the relevant navigation menu. Now my navigation menus are in place in my header and footer. And as mentioned before, if we make our way to the blog home template, which is the template for my posts page, we will see that the header and the footer are the same. Once we have all these elements in place, we want to decide on an overall style for our website. So when we make our way to styles, you can customize the typography, colors, and layout of your site. Or if you click on Browse Styles, you'll be able to see a zoomed out view of all the different style combinations that come with your theme. I will go ahead and select the Rust style as an example. Now that we have our pages, posts, navigation menu, site logo, and style in place, we can go ahead and start adding content to our pages and modifying some of the patterns that we've added. And for a page like our contact page with no pattern, we can start building from scratch. And to modify how we want our posts to be displayed, we need to make our way to the blog home template. And when we open up our blog home template, we can customize our blog page as well as the query loop block to decide how we want our blog posts or dynamic content to be displayed. In this lesson, we will create and customize a header and footer. Block themes allow us to build our entire site using blocks, including pages, posts, templates, and template parts. We have already explored nesting blocks and using block patterns. In this session, I'm going to create and customize the header and footer of my site using patterns that come with my theme. Header and footer patterns provide a strong foundation to work from, and most of the layout has already been done for you. Before we start, I wanted to highlight that I'm using the 2024 block theme. And if I go to settings, reading, you will notice I have set a static homepage and posts page. And because I've done this, if we make our way to pages and open up our homepage, we will notice that our homepage has been assigned to the default page template, the same as the other pages in my navigation menu. Let's go ahead and get started. We will make our way to the site editor, where we can edit and update our templates. Please note, at this stage, all of our templates share the same header and footer. So if we open up our pages template, for example, we will notice it is the same as our 404 template and single posts template, for example. But what does that mean? It means if we customize the current header and footer template part, it will update automatically on all the templates it's on. But if I replace the header or footer on a template, I will need to manually replace it on all the other templates I'm going to use it as well. Without further ado, I'm going to open up my page template and start customizing my header and footer. Let's start with the header and open up the list view. I want to replace this header, so I'll click on the 3 vertical dots and then select Replace Header. And now I can select from a range of patterns that come with my theme. I'm going to select Header inside full width background image. And once selected, I'm going to start modifying. I will make sure I select the cover block and then replace the background image with an image I've already uploaded to my media library. Next, I will select the site logo block and upload a transparent image that I've saved as a logo in my media library. Then I will select the cover block again, open styles, and change the opacity to 0 as I've selected a light image. Once I've done that, I will select my site title block and choose a darker text color. Then I will click on the 3 vertical dots next to typography, select font family, and choose a new font. I also want to enlarge the site title, so I will go ahead and set a custom size. Then we can move on to our navigation block. Once the navigation block is selected, I'll open styles, change the color of the text, change the font family, and also enlarge my navigation menu by setting a custom size. The last step I want to take is to add some padding around my row block. So I'll open up my styles and below dimensions, add some more padding to create some more space around the text. And then our new header is done. The next step, of course, is to save and then to update my other templates with this new header that I've created. using patterns. So for example, let's go ahead and open up our 404 template and replace the header. And now you will see it below existing template parts. We can save and then follow the same process for all the other relevant templates. Now we can return to our page template and move on to our footer. In this case, I'm not going to replace the footer. I am merely going to update the existing pattern. And then it will automatically update on all the other templates. Firstly, I will enlarge the site logo block. And then I will add my site tagline to the site tagline block below the site title. Now we can move on to the 3 columns on the right. I will select the title of the middle block and change it to quick links. Then I will select the navigation block, which has been added with dummy content. And in the sidebar settings next to menu, I'll click on the 3 vertical dots and select the header navigation. I will also open the settings tab and double check that the orientation is vertical. Now we can move on to the next column, and this time I'm going to replace the dummy content with a new navigation menu. So I'll click on create new menu and then select the privacy policy page, which I've already created, as well as the terms and conditions page. And in the last column, I will make sure that I update the links to my social media platforms. So at the moment, there's dummy content, and therefore I will replace the hashtag with the correct link. And now my footer is done, but I can of course make further modifications. After saving, we can make our way to our other templates, for example, the 404 template, and we will see that the footer updated automatically. And here is a view on the front end when I visit my contact page. I trust header and footer patterns will give you a boost and provide you a strong foundation for your header and footer design. As we have learned, blocks form the cornerstone of building your online home. You can think of them as the literal building blocks of your website. In this lesson, we are going to build on our knowledge of blocks, explore using various types of blocks, as well as nest and group blocks together to create various layouts. Nested blocks help you create more complex layouts by adding multiple blocks inside each other. We typically use container blocks such as the group block, columns block, cover block, the media and text block or row block to group content together. As a reminder, when you open up the list view, you can navigate between layers of content and nested blocks. Let's look at the second section on this homepage to see this in action. So I'll go ahead and select the columns block. And when we expand the columns block, we will see all the blocks inside. In the left column, we will notice a heading block, a separator block, and a paragraph block. And in the right column, we will see a gallery block with 4 different images. Let's go ahead and create some examples together. Firstly, I'm going to group some blocks together using a group block. But first, I'm going to add a heading block. And then name it appropriately. In this case, laughter is the best medicine. Then I'll press enter and add a columns block. And select 2 equal columns. And then add some text in the left column and in the right column. Then I will select both of these blocks in my list view by holding in Shift and clicking on my mouse, which allows you to select multiple blocks and then use the block toolbar to group them together. in a group block. Next, I would like to change the width of the group block to wide width, but before I will be able to do that, I have to deselect Inner Blocks Use Content Width. Only once I've deselected this option, the nested blocks will be able to use the content width options, such as wide width and full width. If I don't deselect this option, I won't be able to change the alignment to full width, for example. As you can see, nothing happens. So once deselected, I can return to the block toolbar and change the width to wide width without the constraints set by the theme. Next, we can open up the Styles tab to style our block further. The first thing I want to do is change the background color of the group block. And then please also note, you can add a background image to a group block if you wanted to. And click on the 3 vertical dots next to typography to see all the options available. Next, I will go ahead and add some padding to create more space around the content of my block. And there you have it. And of course, you may decide to style your group block even further. When you have multiple layers of content on a page, you can use the group block to rename sections. So in the top example, we will see the first section is called Our Story, and now I can select the group block below and rename it. In this case, Testimonial. So this feature of the group block will allow you to structure and organize your content. In the next example, let's use the media and text block to group blocks together. So let's go ahead and add the media and text block. And then on the left, we can add an image from our media library. And on the right, we can start adding content. At the top, I will add a heading and name it Sushi is Art. Press enter and then add some text. At the bottom, I want to add a call to action, or in this case, a buttons block. And then I'll say learn more. And I'll use the block toolbar to make the text bold and also to add the relevant URL. Then I will select the parent block in the list view and change the alignment to wide width. You can also use the block toolbar if you wanted to change and show the image on the right. And then below settings, I will change the media width to 40. Then I will open up the Styles tab and add some padding around the content. And then finally, I will change the vertical alignment of the image to align bottom. And that's it. Our media and text block is done. In the next example, we are going to use the columns block. The columns block is one of the most effective blocks to use to create complex layouts or various designs. So let's go ahead and add a columns block and then select 3 equal columns. And then in the left column, I'm going to go ahead and add some text and name it Platters. Press enter and then add a paragraph. Below that, I'm going to add an image block and select an image from my media library. Then I will select the text at the top, make it bold, and also enlarge the size, followed by centering the text of both paragraphs. And once it's aligned center, I will select the image block and change the aspect ratio to square. Then I will select the main columns block or the parent block and change the alignment to wide width. Then I will make my way to styles and add some padding around the content of the block, as well as block spacing between the 3 columns. When I'm done with styling the block, I'm going to select the left column and duplicate it twice. And once duplicated, we can delete the empty columns. And then we can go ahead and modify the content as we please. In the last example, we are going to use a cover block. The cover block allows you to display text and other content on top of an image or video. It is a great block to use for headers and banner style displays. So let's go ahead and add our cover block. Then you will see that you can select a color overlay. But I'm going to go ahead and add an image from my media library as background. Then I will add some text, followed by a buttons block. And I will write order now. And then change the background color and the text color of my call to action. Then I will select both of the blocks and stack them together using a stack block. This allows me to customize the blocks simultaneously. Then I will justify the stack block to center, select the cover block, and change the alignment to wide width. And don't forget to deselect inner blocks use content width. Now we can make further modifications. I will enlarge the text, enjoy 20% off, as well as the buttons block. I also want to make the text of the buttons block bold, and don't forget to add your URL. Then I will select the cover block, and please note in the block toolbar you have the option to toggle the block to full height. But then we can also manually decrease or increase the size. Then I will open up the Styles tab and change the overlay opacity to 30 to make it lighter. And then my cover block is ready to go. I trust you now feel more confident nesting and grouping blocks together. We have learned to use and group blocks to build our site. But do you know there is a shortcut to create custom content layouts faster? And that is using block patterns. We are not all designers and it is time consuming to create layouts. Block patterns provide a solution. The learning objectives for this lesson are using and modifying available pre-made block patterns, exploring the block pattern directory, creating your own synced and non-synced patterns, and lastly, utilizing header and footer patterns. But what are patterns? Block patterns are pre-made designs or layouts of grouped blocks that are available to modify and change to meet your needs. It will essentially save you time, but also enhance creativity and design. Instead of nesting and grouping blocks together, patterns have already done that for you. And in one click, you will have access to beautiful and functional layouts from call to actions, headers, columns, galleries, and more. To add a pattern, click on the plus icon on the top left, also called the inserter, and open up the patterns tab on the right next to blocks. At the top, you will see all patterns, and below that, all your synced and non-synced patterns you have created yourself. Synced patterns are marked with a purple icon and non-synced patterns don't have one. But more about synced and non-synced patterns in a moment. Below My Patterns, you will see the patterns that come with your theme. They are organized into various categories to help you find what you need. Once you click on the category, you will see a preview of all the available patterns when you scroll down. You can also select Explore All Patterns at the bottom to get a bird's eye view of the patterns that come with your theme. You can also go through them category by category. Let's look at a quick example. When you select a pattern, in this case one from my featured category, you will be able to modify the pattern to meet your design requirements. It can easily be edited in the same way as any other block. You can change the alignment of the container block. You can edit the heading, update the content, replace the images, and for example, change the background color of your pattern, as well as other styling options. But all the hard work and the layout has already been done for you. The only thing you have to do is select the pattern and modify it to meet your requirements. The patterns that come with your theme are limited. If you want more patterns to choose from, you can explore the block pattern directory. To do that, let's make our way to the WordPress.org website. Click on Extend and then select Patterns. Here you can search and find new patterns to use on your website. You will notice there is an option to only view curated patterns or hundreds of patterns that have been added by the WordPress community. You can type in the search block, search by category, or browse through all the available options until you find what you're looking for. Once you find the pattern you are after, you can click on the star to add it to your favorites. When you are ready to add the pattern to your site, open the pattern, click on Copy Pattern, return to your website, and then paste. And now you can start changing and modifying your pattern. And this is what my pattern looks like after altering it to meet my design needs. When you make your way to the site editor, and in this side view, you will see a Patterns tab. And here you can manage, edit, and create all of your patterns, synced or not, along with your template parts. When you click on My Patterns, you will see all your custom patterns. The synced patterns have a purple icon and the unsynced patterns don't. If you hover over the purple icon, it clearly says, editing this pattern will also update anywhere it is used. Below custom patterns, we will see all the available categories as well as the patterns that are provided by your theme. It is also worth noting when you click on the 3 vertical dots of a pattern that comes with your theme, you can also duplicate and add that pattern to your custom patterns area. And when you've saved it as a custom pattern, you can modify it as you please. And at the bottom, all your header, footer, and general template part patterns. Let's start with your own patterns. If you click on the plus icon next to patterns, you can create your own custom synced or unsynced patterns. After naming it, you can add it to the relevant category, in this case a call to action category, and then you can choose to sync it or not. In this example, I will choose to sync the pattern, and at the bottom it says sync this pattern across multiple locations. And now you can start creating your synced pattern. And when it is ready, we can click Save. To create a pattern in the block editor, merely select the design, then click on the 3 vertical dots of the block toolbar and select Create Pattern. And then follow the same process as before. And I will once again select a synced pattern. So if you love a design, you can save it and reuse it as a synced or non-synced pattern. Lastly, let's talk about template parts. To manage your header and footer, you have template part patterns at your disposal. Templates create a design for a web page, and this is usually done by adding a header and footer template part. Let's look at an example and open up our page template. And when you open your page template, we can go ahead and select our current header and then click on the 3 vertical dots. And now we can select Replace Header. And when you do this, you can select one of your existing template parts or patterns that come with your theme. And it works exactly the same way with your footer. Below patterns, you can manage and edit your existing template parts. To add a new template part, click on the plus icon next to patterns and select Create Template Part. Here you will be able to select between creating a general, footer, or header template part. To create a new header template part, name it appropriately, select header, and then click create. And then you can start building your new header in template editing mode. I trust that patterns will also become one of your favorite new tools. In this tutorial, we are going to see how you can quickly embed media and third-party content on your website. An embed is a way to display external media or content on your website without having to upload or host it directly. Embeds allow you to incorporate various types of content seamlessly, such as videos, social media posts, maps, audio clips, and more. You can, for example, display podcasts from Spotify on your website, or posts from your Tumblr account, which I've displayed in columns using the columns block and changing the background color. The most common embed is probably embedding a video from YouTube, Vimeo, or elsewhere. You can even add a survey to your site using Crowd Signal, for example. Or you might decide to add posts from X on your site. And lastly, you can even display music from SoundCloud. To add an embed block, click on the inserter top left and scroll all the way down to embeds. And here you will notice all the different embed blocks available. First up is the embed block itself. When you select the embed block, you can display content from other sites. Now that I've selected the block, it says paste a link to the content you want to display on your site. So I've already grabbed a URL from one of my X posts, which I'll paste there and then click on embed. Then we will see that the post displays on our site. You can also use embed blocks built for specific third-party services, such as X, YouTube, WordPress, Vimeo, CrowdSignal, Pocket Casts, etc., as you can see in the list on the left. So instead of using the general embed block, we could have used the X embed block to achieve the same result. In the next example, I'm not going to click on the insert at top left, but rather type / and the name of the block. I would like to add a YouTube video to my site, so I will type in / YouTube, select the block, and then add the URL of the video, and then click on embed. But WordPress has made it even easier to add third-party content to your site. So technically, you don't even have to add the block. You can merely paste the URL straight into your page or post. Let's look at another example. Instead of inserting the Spotify embed block, I'm going to paste the URL of a Spotify podcast straight into my page. Did you know you can transform an embed into a columns or a group block? Transforming to one of these will let you change the background color as well as the layout. I would like to add a TED talk. So I'm going to type in / TED, select the block, and then paste the URL of the talk. Once I've done that, I will select my block toolbar and transform this block to a columns block. Then I will open up my sidebar settings and then change it from 1 column to 2 columns. Then I will add another TED embed block into my right column, paste the URL of my second video, and then click on embed. Then I will select my columns block or container block, and then in the block toolbar, change the alignment to wide width. Then you can go to styles, change the background color of the block, change the padding, etc. But what happens if the embed blocks don't work? Well, we can use the HTML block. The embed block does not work for Facebook or Instagram posts, for example. So let's make our way to one of our Facebook posts. Click on the 3 vertical dots, click on embed, Copy the HTML code, return to your website, type in /HTML, and then select the custom HTML block. And then we can go ahead and paste the code. And now in the block toolbar, we can click on preview to see how the post will display. I trust you now have all the tools you need to embed third-party content on your site. Welcome to Learn WordPress. Let's talk about 7 tips to improve website security. Number 1, use a password manager and secure passwords for your logins. Password managers such as 1Password and Bitwarden are worth exploring. One of the most common areas for security failure is unfortunately the human one. No 2 passwords should ever be the same, and ensure passwords are at least 10 to 12 characters and include numbers and symbols. And remember, never use admin as a username. Password managers store your passwords securely and allow you to generate unique secure passwords for each login without needing to remember each one. Number 2, use a 2-factor authentication. 2-factor authentication can significantly enhance the security of your WordPress site by adding an extra layer of protection to the login process. This way, even if someone else gets your password, they still can't log into your account without that second factor. 2-factor authentication may seem like a small step, but it can greatly improve the security of your online accounts and help protect your personal information. You can search for a 2-factor authentication plugin such as WP2FA, 2-factor authentication, or Mini Orange's Google Authenticator. Some security plugins also include 2-factor authentication, but we will talk more about security plugins in a minute. Number 3, always review your user base. Remove unnecessary users and be very selective of admin users. Let's make our way to users in the dashboard. User roles such as editors, authors, and contributors should be monitored. Typically, the administrative role is reserved for the website's owner. Removing unnecessary users will minimize the potential attack surface or entry points that attackers can exploit. Number 4, only install plugins and themes from trusted developers and uninstall what you are not using. To assess the reliability of a theme or plugin, there are a few things to review. Check user feedback and reviews. Note when it was last updated. Look at the number of active installs. Explore their support and documentation. And double check that it is compatible with the latest version of WordPress. Number 5, keep your plugins and themes up to date. And remember to back up your site before updating. But you might be asking why. Keeping your WordPress themes and plugins up to date is important for maintaining the security, stability, and compatibility of your site. Updates often include security patches that fix vulnerabilities in software, as well as bug fixes that could cause your site to malfunction or break. These bugs could also potentially be exploited by attackers to gain unauthorized access to your site. By keeping your website up to date, you can ensure that your site is protected against the latest security threats and runs smoothly with the latest web technologies. Number 6, install a security plugin like WordFence, Jetpack Security, or iThemes that will scan your site for any reported vulnerabilities. There are also many other plugins available in the plugins directory worth exploring, such as PatchStack, All-in-One Security, etc. A website security plugin can help protect your website from common cyber threats, block malicious traffic, and alert you to potential security issues. In essence, a security plugin will help you maintain the security and integrity of your website. And finally, number 7, something for more advanced users. Follow security-focused blogs like PatchStack, WP Scan, or blog.security, which report any new vulnerabilities for which there are updates as well as emerging web threats. Then there are also some other steps worth exploring. Firstly, choosing a reliable web host. Secondly, installing a SSL certificate if your host has not already installed one, which will allow you to enable HTTPS, which ensures that no information is passed in plain text. And thirdly, using a spam detector, especially if you have a blog or allow comments on posts. All the best keeping your site safe and secure. Let's talk about managing spam on your website. Allowing comments on your website is a great way to connect with your readers or clients and build a community. Unfortunately, allowing comments also opens the door for spammers. We have all received messages to become rich overnight or purchase unwanted products. Comment spam happens when a spammer posts comments to your website via the blog or contacts page. In this lesson, we will look at how you can manage and avoid spam on your website by using the built-in features of WordPress and using an anti-spam plugin. Let's start with the built-in features. By default, WordPress comes with some built-in features to help you prevent spam on your site, which can be found in the settings discussion page in your dashboard. Number 1, limiting the number of links allowed. Since spam comments work through backlinks and encourage visitors to the spammer's site, many spam comments will include a high number of links. You may be able to catch some spam comments on your site by setting a limit to the number of links allowed before it will be held for moderation or for an admin to approve. Just something to take note of. The link limit is set to 2 links by default, but you can lower it to 1 link per comment. It is not recommended to set the limit to 0, otherwise all comments will be held for moderation. The second step you can take is to change the comment moderation settings. In addition to limiting the number of links in a comment, you can also apply specified words, phrases, usernames, emails, etc. in the comment moderation text field to automatically hold comments containing these elements in the moderation queue. As you will see, I've selected words like gambling, insurance, win, and a link to a cryptocurrency website, as these are things you will often see in spam comments, but you're welcome to look at previous comments to flag certain words. Next, you can also disallow comment keys, or to put it differently, you can have comments with specified words or elements automatically deleted. It is like the comment moderation setting, but here you can specify words, phrases, usernames, IP addresses, and so forth to automatically place a comment in the trash. This means you do not need to manually move the comment to the trash from the moderation queue. The fourth step you can take is to disable trackbacks. A large part of spam is trackbacks. Trackbacks and pingbacks notify you that another blog has linked to your content and vice versa. However, spammers often abuse this feature by sending trackbacks and pings from spam websites. The last step you can take in the discussion page is to select all comments to be moderated. You can do this by selecting comment must be manually approved. Or you can of course choose not to receive any comments at all by deselecting allow people to submit comments. Before we move on to plugins, let's look at how to mark a comment as spam. Go to comments, and as you will see, we have 2 spam comments here. Click on both, Cryptocurrency Mania and Win Big. Go to the bulk action, mark as spam, and then apply. Next, another effective way to manage and stop spam is by using an anti-spam plugin. There are many free and paid plugins that offer spam protection for your website, which you can find through the WordPress.org plugin directory. Some plugins worth mentioning are Anti-Spam Bee, Clean Talk, or Akismet. There are multiple plugins to choose from in the plugins directory, so find the one that meets your needs. In this example, I'm going to install and activate Akismet. Make your way to Plugins and click on Add New. Select Akismet and then click on Install Now. Wait a moment for installation to complete and then click on Activate. Once you click Activate, you will be redirected to a page requesting that you set up an account with Akismet. Akismet is free for personal use, so you can select what to pay even if it is $0. So I will go ahead and drag the bar on the right to $0 and continue with a personal subscription. And once activated, there are a number of settings you can change for how you'd like the plugin to manage spam on your site. Let's look at a few more security plugins to consider. Capture is a technology used to tell robots and humans apart. Find the right capture plugin, as this makes it very hard for spam bots to infiltrate your website. Lastly, spam plugins can stop and delete a lot of spam comments, but it can't stop spammers from accessing your website. Too many requests from spammers to submit comments can slow down your site and negatively affect performance. A firewall plugin such as all-in-one WordPress security and firewall, WordFence, Securi, or Jetpack will help you block unwanted requests before they even reach your site. These plugins will ward off automated bots and scripts from trying to leave comments. I trust these steps will help you secure your site and intercept spammers. In this lesson, we are going to talk about an essential part of managing your WordPress website: backing up your valuable data. Accidents can happen, and it's crucial to have a backup of your site in case anything goes wrong. It is also advised to back up your site before updating WordPress core, themes or plugins, before installing new plugins or themes, before migrating or moving your site, and after significant content updates. We'll explore two methods to back up your WordPress site. Number one, using your hosting company, or number two, using a backup plugin. There is also a manual way of backing up your site, but we will briefly touch on that at the end. The method of using your hosting company for backups is probably the easiest way. Different hosting companies have different interfaces or ways of backing up your site, but you can learn how that works if you make your way to the backup and restore page of the control panel of your hosting company. I will use my Pressable website to explain how the process works, as this is where I have a hosting account. Once I have logged into my control panel, I will make my way to backups and restores. At the top, we will see available updates for the file system as well as the database. And these updates are done automatically by my hosting company. You might be asking, what is the difference between the file system and the database? When we talk about the file system backup, we are referring to backing up the files and folders that make up your website. These files include your WordPress core files, themes, plugins, media uploads, and any other files associated with your website. On the other hand, database backup focuses on backing up the data stored in your website's database. In WordPress, the database is where all the textual content, settings, user information, and other dynamic data are stored. It includes posts, pages, comments, user profiles, and much more. As mentioned, my hosting company automatically makes updates of my site. But below the automatic updates, you will notice I can also choose to back up my site right now, which is called on demand. Let's go ahead and update my file system and database on demand. Now we can see our most recent on-demand file system backup as well as database backup. Now these backups will also appear in the list of available file system backups as well as available database backups. So if something goes wrong and you need to back up your site to a previous version, you can merely select the backup and then click restore. So if you have backups of your site, you never have to panic. Next, we are going to take a closer look at using a plugin if this is the option you prefer, or if you don't have the option with your hosting company. There are various plugins available in the plugins directory, such as Updraft Plus, Jetpack, Duplicator, etc. For this demo, we will go ahead and install and activate the Updraft Plus plugin. Once activated, we can make our way to Settings. Below the Backup and Restore tab, we will see the next scheduled backups as well as existing backups. And at the top right, we will notice the large call to action or buttons block, Backup Now, which will allow you to make an on-demand backup of your file system as well as your database. I'm going to go ahead and make a backup of my site right now. Then you will also see options to configure backups for your database, your file system, or both. And then we can select Backup Now. Once backed up, we will notice that this on-demand backup displays below existing backups. And if anything goes wrong, you can merely restore your website below Actions. When you go to Settings, you'll be able to set up a backup schedule for your website. And for this example, I'm going to say I want my site to be updated on a daily basis. And on the right, you can choose how many backups you want your plugin to retain or store. And below that, you can select where you want your backups to be stored. There are more options worth exploring, but once you have set up your plugin, you can be rest assured that you have a backup in place if the need ever arises. At this stage, it's also worth highlighting a best practice when backing up your site. Store a copy of your backups in a location separate from your web server. Cloud storage services like Dropbox, Google Drive, etc. are good options. This ensures that your backups remain safe even if your server experiences issues. Finally, you also have the option to manually update your database via phpMyAdmin and your file system via your website server using an FTP client or a file manager in your hosting control panel. These methods are more technical, and therefore we will add links to other resources if you would like to learn more. It does not matter which method you choose, but it's crucial to regularly perform backups to protect your website and its valuable data. In today's session, we are going to look at how we can improve our SEO rankings. But what is SEO? Search engine optimization refers to techniques that help you make your website rank higher in search engine results. The aim is, of course, to get more visitors to your site organically. Search engines send bots to a site to crawl through it and find out what the content is about and where the site links to. They also check out what the images are about, test if the site loads quickly, and also investigate if the layout of a site is accessible and good for mobile devices. Once they are done crawling, bots figure out keywords from your site and then record these keywords in the search engine database. So now, when anybody starts a search engines match a user's search query with the keywords in the database to recommend sites that are a close match. Let's look at some tips that we can implement. Firstly, make your way to Settings, click on Reading, and ensure that you have deselected the Search Engine Visibility box. If this box is ticked, it will discourage search engines from indexing this site, and we don't want that. This option is only used when a site is still being created. The second thing to take note of is that search engines love sites with fresh content, so keep your site up to date with new content as much as possible. If your homepage and other pages rarely change, it is advised to have a blog page or news page and ensure that you frequently post about your products, your brand, your clients, and various other topics. The third tip is to make sure you have quality content on your website. Google has published an EAT guideline, which basically says that search engines look at expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So let's first talk about expertise. Write about content you are knowledgeable and passionate about. What about authority? Well, if you have shown expertise, it will be viewed by search engines as authoritative if others link to your site, if people talk about your site in social media, and if you link to reputable sites in your content. Lastly, the T stands for trustworthiness. So make sure information that you share is trustworthy and factual. Here is an important question you can ask yourself. Is your content shareable? Things to consider. Is it funny? Is it maybe too long? Does it have good taste? Does it use plain language? Does it have a summary or too long didn't read at the top? It basically comes down to making sure your content is worth reading and worth sharing. Next, let's talk about keywords. Keywords and keyword phrases in your content make it easier for people to find your site via search engines. A well-optimized site speaks the same language as their audience, so to speak. We therefore need to know what folks are searching for and include those words or phrases on our pages and in our posts. Keyword research will help you know what keywords people search for when looking for similar sites. You can use free tools such as WordStream or Google Keyword Planner to find those keywords that you can use in your content. The way you would go about finding keywords is to type the domain name of sites that are similar to yours. This will give you a hint of what words people use to search content on that site. Once you have identified these keywords, use them in your site's content. Search engines will prioritize what your content is titled when they decide keywords. But you can also use them in excerpts, headings, and content. The way it is laid out here is generally the priority in which you want to use keywords. Remember to use keywords naturally and to avoid keyword stuffing or overusing keywords, as this will damage your SEO. Let's talk some more about linking. Search engines will travel through your links to understand your site structure and to look for more content. So link to other posts already on your site, as pages that are linked multiple times are considered more important by search engines. Also remember to set external links to sites that are reputable and also have good EAT, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness, as this will make your site more credible as well. The next topic that we want to discuss is metadata. Metadata are tags in your page content that are visible to search engines. It is hidden behind the scenes, but it does give critical information about your site to search engines. You might not have known this, but meta descriptions is the information shown below each individual search result. Metadata is automatically created by WordPress, so it's not easy to edit directly. But most SEO plugins allow you to edit and modify the metadata to be more geared to your content. Usually no more than 2 sentences. One of the things you can do is write an excerpt for a post, as WordPress uses these excerpts to create meta descriptions. So it is advised to use your keywords and handwrite these excerpts. Otherwise, it just takes the top paragraph from your content. Next, site speed is important. Search engines definitely look at site speed when ranking sites, so this is an important part of SEO. Here are a few considerations that will help you to improve your site speed. Does your host rank high with regard to site speed? Does your host have caching enabled, although you can also use a caching plugin? Is your WordPress theme quick to load? Some very snazzy WordPress themes that uses a lot of plugins can drastically change your site speed, so be careful. Have you optimized images and videos? Have you installed well-built plugins? And does your theme and plugins work well together? You can investigate your site speed by using tools such as GTmetrix or Page Speed Insights. Image optimization is another piece of the SEO puzzle. Let's first look at a few steps that you can take before uploading images to your site. Number 1, choose a good file format, such as PNG, JPEG, or WebP. In this example, I'm using the open source website Squish to change the file format for free. It also has some other settings worth exploring. Number 2, scale the image dimensions. Images that are too large will be resized when it shows up on people's browser and will affect the loading speed of your site. So make sure you shrink the dimensions of very large images, as most monitors in the world are no bigger than 1920 by 1080 pixels in size. Luckily, WordPress does make 3 different size variations when you upload an image, but that large image still takes space up on your server. Number 3, reduce the image file size. You want to reduce the file size of images without reducing the quality. You can use programs such as TinyPNG or also Squish. And lastly, rename the image file so that it explains what the image is about. When an image has been uploaded to WordPress, it is advised to add alternative text or alt text and a description of the image. Search engines place a high value on alt text, and they use this information to understand the context of an image, what the image is about, and the purpose of the image. Images should also have alt text for accessibility purposes. You also want to ensure that at least one of your images has your keyword or key phrase as part of the alt tag. The second last tip is about creating a sitemap. It is something search engines use. It is like a map or roadmap that helps search engines to figure out where all content is on your website. Sitemaps don't boost search ranking, but it does help search engines navigate the content on your site. Most SEO plugins will generate a sitemap for your site automatically, so it's not something you have to code if you are not able to. Finally, let's talk about local SEO to optimize your site to show higher in local search results, especially if your customer base is primarily located in the same city or metropolitan area. There are a few things that you can do. Do some local SEO keyword research, add your contact information in your footer or contact page, post localized content, and get local backlinks, meaning get local sites to refer or link to your site. All the best as you endeavor to improve your own SEO rankings. And don't forget to install and activate an SEO plugin that works best for you. In this lesson, we will explore how to use headings for accessibility and SEO. Did you know that using headings on your website's posts and pages can be the difference between connecting with your website's audience or result in them bouncing away to find a different website? In this example, we have an article with no headings, which will make it quite difficult for a reader to navigate. In the next example, we have added the appropriate headings to help a reader make sense of the content and to find out what the article is about before actually having to read it. Headings organize content and make it easier for the reader to navigate and locate information. Most importantly, they are essential tools for accessibility and search engine optimization. By the end of this tutorial, we will be able to use headings correctly for readability, accessibility, and SEO. Firstly, why is it important to structure content using headings? Well, it introduces new topics or sections, it guides a reader, it lets a reader skim content, it also gives the reader an idea of what to expect, and then lastly, it breaks topics into more digestible pieces of information. Headings are also used to indicate the hierarchy of information. Your pages and posts will be broken up into subheadings such as heading 2 or H2, H3, and all the way to H6. You will notice when you add your first heading block, H2 is automatically selected. That's because your page or post title is your first primary heading. Once you have added a heading, you can change the type of heading you are using by selecting the relevant heading in the list view. Then selecting the option that says H2 in your block toolbar, and from there you can select between H1 to H6 to ensure your headings are in the correct order and hierarchy. Did you know you can use the outline feature under your list view to quickly check your headings? Double check if your H2 heading relates to your H1 heading and your H3 to your H2, etc. WordPress will also alert you in this outline section if you accidentally skip a heading level, helping you to ensure that they're in chronological order. You can check your pages for any errors to correct them quickly, rather than searching block by block. In this example, I want to ensure that all the types of sushi are listed as H4. Headings are also important for accessibility. Using them incorrectly means many people cannot access the information on your website. When you use headings for accessibility, this allows screen readers to better navigate the page and quickly find relevant information. Also, keyboard-only users can quickly skip to the right section with a click of a button. Without headings, the screen reader in this example has to read this entire chunk of text out loud. There are no headings to allow users to jump ahead. If I add headings, the screen reader or keyboard can allow its users to navigate to the section that is relevant to them quickly. Headings also help users with low vision to maintain the structure of a page when zoomed in. As a user with low vision zooms into a page, the different text sizes allow them to keep track of where they are on a website. Remember to structure your headings into logical chunks. For example, this post is about parrots, which is the title, the H1. I decided to start my article by writing about parrot health, and for that I used an H2. Another subtopic of parrot health is parrot nutrition, and then we can keep drilling down to the next subheading. Each subtopic should relate to the topic above it, similar to a magazine article. Lastly, let's talk about headings and search engine optimization, or SEO. You can thoughtfully embed keywords into headings to boost your website's rank in a search engine. Your headings should provide a clear and concise summary of the content that follows. They should accurately reflect the content of a section. When you are in the site editor, you can click on Styles and then open up your style book. Here you are able to globally style your headings using your sidebar settings on the right. It is advised to use the same heading hierarchy and styling throughout your site to create a uniform look and feel. One last tip: never use the heading block to style text. If you are looking for a stylistic flair, use an additional block such as the quote block, or transform the heading to a paragraph block and use the style setting on the right to modify your text accordingly. I trust that you will start using headings to improve the user experience on your site as well as search engine optimization. If you stumble over a roadblock on your WordPress journey, what should you do? In this lesson, I will guide you on how to find help when you need it the most. If you are facing an issue such as a formatting problem, a plugin acting up, or any other hiccup, you can start by visiting wordpress.org/support/forums to see if there's an existing thread that relates to the problem you have. The answer to your question might already be there. Let's go ahead and see this in action. Make your way to wordpress.org, click on Learn, and then select Forums. At the top right, you'll be able to search for existing questions. So in this case, I'm going to type in website loading slowly, and then I will see a list of results, and hopefully I will find the answer amongst these. If you can't find a thread that provides a solution to your problem, we can return to the supports forum page and then post a query in one of the support forums, such as Fixing WordPress or Everything Else WordPress. Let's go ahead and open up the Fixing WordPress forum. At the top right above the list of topics, you can create your own topic and then fill in all the relevant details about your question. If you are facing a problem due to a specific plugin or theme, it is advised to contact their support forum or support page directly. I also want to highlight that someone from the general support forums will often refer you to these platforms if the issue is from a theme or plugin. To find the support forum of a specific plugin or theme, go to the forums page and scroll down to Themes and Plugins. Select which one applies. In this case, let's go for plugins, and then search for the relevant plugin. For this example, I will select the Jetpack plugin, and then below the download button, I will click on the support tab, and this will open the support forum for the Jetpack plugin, where you can search through old questions or create a new topic. And if you are on your site, you can of course access support via the plugins dashboard. If you are using a premium theme or plugin, you can always visit their website and contact their support team. Lastly, you can access two fantastic resources on the WordPress.org site that provide help and guidance to use and develop with WordPress. Firstly, WordPress documentation. You can access documentation from within the forums page, or if you click on Learn and then select Documentation. The documentation page is a treasure trove of guides and articles that cover a wide range of topics. You can use the search block to search for a topic, or the links below to narrow down your search. You might want to learn more about changing or customizing the appearance of your site. So below customization, we can select appearance and then choose a topic. We might want to learn more about block themes, for example. Finally, let's talk about learn.wordpress.org. To open the site, click on the Learn tab and then select Learn WordPress. Learn WordPress is an educational platform and resource that offers a variety of materials, including video lessons, online workshops, and courses designed to help individuals learn and enhance their skills in using and developing with WordPress. I trust these platforms will help you find the necessary answers or resources. I will also add the links in the description below.